a ball each. Now the reason why I put these buckets at the back is because I expect the kids to be able to pick balls up themselves and work for themselves. And I think if we'll come on this side. Slightly hard one. You can do it from that side. No, it really doesn't matter. Right, now I'm going to show you an exercise. And this is what I call the rhythm of tennis. Okay, I'll show you this exercise and then I want you to copy it. Okay, so you must have seen where people do what I call bounce up. So it's pretty much this, that. Okay. Yeah. Got it? Yeah. Right, there we go. Right, I'll stop there. I'll show you again. Let me show you again. Move on that way. Yeah. I'll show you again. You're going to get used to me putting you in certain places so you can all see it. Okay, so you didn't do what I just did. Okay, but it was a trick as well. I want you to have another little look at what I'm doing. Okay, see if you can copy it. I'll give you an idea because if I was to hit this ball now, that's the start of the forehand. You just do it forehands here. So the point to look at is where's my feet and where's the ball in relation to my body. Okay, if you get this right, it makes a big difference to teaching these kids at a young age. Let's have another go. That's more like it. There we go. Are you doing open stance or are you doing square stance? Because when we first start, all these kids are going to have a square stance, as you'll find out. Okay, so you've got the idea? So at the end of the day, just to explain it, I like to use lines on this. I get my feet behind one line, the racket is in front, and we're just doing this action here. Okay? And you can do it with 2 people, 3 people, it doesn't matter, but we're looking at doing this. Because then, as I said, if I wanted to hit the ball over, I can hit it over. And the same would go for the backhand side. Whether you've got a single or double, it doesn't matter. I'm using a single-handed backhand. Look where my feet are, and look where the racket is. Okay, if I've got a double, look where my feet are, and look where the racket is. Okay? So very, very simple. Just try some on the backhand side as well. Now, if you can get the mini players doing this exercise, what a difference. Yeah. But it's getting them to do this, and it's not easy. You've got to form a habit. That doesn't happen in a day. Okay, stop there. So you got the idea. So the question is, you've got to do that week in, week out until they can do it. And I like to say, can you do 10 on the forehand and 10 on the backhand before we move on? And you can set that as homework. Yeah. You've got to get them to understand it. But you've got to get it to that stage. So simple things like just bouncing the ball on the racket. That's a lot easier for some of them than doing this. Okay? But if you look at that, look where my racket is. So I see a lot of coaches do it like this. Look where my racket is, and look where my body is in relation to the racket. The same here. Look where my body is, look where my racket is. That, to me, is bouncing the ball on the racket, because then I can extend that to letting the ball bounce. Okay? If you've got kids that can't actually bounce the ball on the racket, we can all have a go at one of these. I've got one, there you go. You want that one? So you must have seen that before. What's the word differentiation mean? Differentiation.
Changing what you're doing, basically, isn't it? Making sure there's variation.
Okay, so there's variation, because at the end of the day, you're going to get loads of kids who are of different standards. You're going to get some good kids, you're going to get some weak kids, you're going to get some kids that can't play. And you've got all want to roughly be doing the same thing. So it could be that some of you are bouncing the ball on the racket, and I can't do it, so why don't I just use a beat bag? Okay, just to get used to it. This is differentiation. We're all doing the same thing, but obviously mine's a little bit more different, mine's a little bit easier to do. Okay? Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, we want to get that action going. And that's how it's going to work most of the day. I'm going to drip feed you about 11 different tactical scenarios, and you've got to think of some games. Okay, and I'm going to help you. I'll throw some games in as well. But if we can do that, that makes everything, your meat of the sessions that you do, quite interesting. Because you're going to stick on one tactical scenario for weeks on it, and then you're always going to revisit the ones you've done, and dip into the next one, and then come back to the main one. So then that makes the sessions interesting rather than boring. You've just got to make it different every time. Okay, while doing the same thing. So can you think of any like this? You just put it off and then maybe just hold on the racket, drop it off on the racket. Is that the same thing? Yeah. You're just building up the tactic, aren't you? Now, when I do this, what grip have I got? It's chopper grip. We're using chopper grips. Now, obviously with kids, they don't know they're using chopper grip. It just naturally happens. Okay, which brings it nicely to our next stage. Okay, this is where you're going to use a line each, if you grab that one. And we can do this on one.